People that are watching aren't able to do the stuff you do. Now, well, I shouldn't say that. They're able to, but they just don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to get, you clearly know what you're doing. So tell them a little bit, just give a quick Reader's Digest version of like where you started, where you are today, and then what value can you offer to them? Because I know you have your book obviously here. We can talk about that. You have your coaching program. You have your mentoring program. Because obviously you're very successful at it. So you want to teach people to help you do what you're doing.
Right.
So tell them a little bit about where you were.
I tell you how it all started. Okay, I'm a computer guy. I always like to do computers, and
Which makes sense because you're talking about data.
yes, I was in the army. I was in the Air Force, and I was an IT manager there. And I was in London also as working for a bank as an IT manager. And computer was my major, was my passion. Since I was very very young. Communicating with the people in the world, and it was just blow my mind to be able to do so in '96, '97. For me, it was like as a kid, it was something that got me hooked, okay, all the time, day and night. And I had a dream to be good in what I do, and I was investing a lot of time in myself, educating myself in how to become an expert in computers, okay, because I liked it a lot. And then I went to the army, I went to the Air Force, I was there 3 years, and then I moved to London. I was working for London for 2 years as an IT consultant. And then I came to Miami, I opened my own computer company, and I used to help people and businesses to perfect their own processes, okay, in their businesses. In 2009, the real estate went down, and I saved some money. I was a very modest person. I always lived in a modest way. I never had expensive cars, and I'm not a show-off guy or things like that. I always save. I didn't know for what. And in 2009,
no one ever knew it was going to go as bad as it did.
Yeah, I didn't have what to do with it. I knew it's an instrument. I knew that money. It's another conversation we should have, but money is basically just an instrument, and I always knew that. I knew not to put my feelings into it, okay? And I knew that one day I'm gonna need it. That was my mentality. 2009, the real estate went down. I found out about the auctions. My first day at the auction was the most overwhelming day you can even imagine, okay? I just went over there, no real estate experience, only bought one property in the market before that, at the market. That's the only property I bought at the market, was one before I got to the auction. And I was just getting there, man, and there was like 40 or 50 or 60 people, everybody with briefcases and bodyguards and realtors and phones and all that stuff. And I was 26, 27 years old, just turning 27. And I had some money to spend, but not a lot of money. I didn't have any knowledge. And they start calling the cases. And I've seen 300 properties selling a day, about 10 or $20 million worth of product. Next day I went home and I started doing some thinking. I asked myself, what do they know that I don't know? That was my first question in how I can move forward. And I came to the understanding that people were lacking information. People didn't have access to information fast enough, and the information wasn't accurate enough. And immediately, I knew that I can bring my value to the table, which was computers. So I started creating a program that helped me scrap the information to my Excel spreadsheet. But what I was most looking at when I was checking properties, right? When you check properties, you have to check the value, the condition, all the physical stuff behind it, right? But you never really look into title. Right. Title really tells you the story. Title really tells you if it's worth bidding or not, right? You don't care about a property if there is no equity, right? Why would you overpay if you can buy it in the market for cheapest? So title was my biggest passion, you call it this way. In 2009, 2010, 2011, you probably know that foreclosure defense and all the robo-signing and all that stuff, it's like a new niche. It became a new niche. A lot of attorneys didn't even know what they're doing. They start learning about all this, what is standing. A lot of people said that you don't have standing. The notes were not endorsed properly.
Because everyone was working so quick.
Everybody was working so quick. The chain of title didn't make sense because there were so many. So all these problems that happen underneath the properties, that's what made me like curious and interested. And I start looking into the data. That's my biggest advice I can give people, is that they have to look at the data. They have to look about the underneath data, the title search of what the problem is and how they can come up with a solution. Because when you know the problem and when you can communicate with somebody knowing the problem already in advance and knowing the solution, that somebody is going to trust you, and you can create a relationship. And you can actually create a business. If you can create a win-win and not just, as I said, be a real estate investor, meaning that you want to kill somebody for just kill him kill him 50% or 70%. You don't want to do that. You want to create a win-win situation that you can replicate. Right. And that's what I tell my students. That's what I tell people. If you have a $100,000 property, don't try to buy it for 50. Okay, 65 it's okay too if you can do 3 or 4 or 5 of those, okay, on a regular basis. Because what I tell people is that you have to move the product every 4 months. Okay, don't get stuck on what you think it's worth. Get stuck on how much you think you can move it for and how fast you can move it for. Meaning you have to detach your feelings from a property. You have to look at the numbers and you have to look at data. In fact, when I look at properties, when I buy properties, I don't even look at the properties themselves. I'm an opportunity shopper. If I see a problem, then I'm going to see what the property is and what it's worth. If I can overcome that problem, then I'm going to see what equity I have. Other people, they go around that. They see, oh, I like this product. Oh, I like this property. Now let's buy it, or now let's see how we can buy it. I do it the other way around. I see that problem, okay, that person has $100,000 right now, and I know as a fact the bank is going to eat all of his equity, and I know as a fact I can buy him out,
so
and I know
you're essentially solving problems. And I think just to go backwards for a second, what you said originally, I think was very important for everyone to realize. You talked about, you were very humble when you walked into the auction that first day, and you said, I want to learn what they know because they know more than me. See, the problem these investors are making, real estate agents do the same thing, is they walk into the deal thinking they know more. And what they don't realize is they actually know less.
Right.
And years ago, I wrote about it in the book, is I took this program, it was called Referral Marketing Mastery. It basically said, go find your biggest competitor and learn what they do right.
Absolutely.
So you can learn what you need to do better.
Absolutely.
And I did it.
That's exactly what I did. I was looking at other investors. And I was looking at the best ones, and I wanted to beat them. They were my competitions. You see a group, you see who is the best, and that's who's going to be your model. That's who you're going to compete with.
And you're not looking to harm them, put them out of business. You're just looking to learn because there's enough business for everyone. I have friends in the title business that I talk to all the time. There's enough business for everyone. You bounce ideas off each other.
A lot of people are asking me, why are you telling me your secrets? I've been sitting 9 years behind my computer. Almost no online credentials. Everybody comes to me, asking me questions. I'm like secretive because I have my partners and nobody wants me to tell my secrets. But after 9 years, I really gave my secrets, and people are telling me, they're going to steal your secrets. They're going to tell them, guys, there are 3,000 counties in America. 300 are really, really good. So, and every month there are 2,000 foreclosure and 1,000 probates, and nobody can buy everything. Right. Even at the auction, nobody could buy everything.
Right.
So don't think that if you are helping somebody or you're giving value in real estate or you're telling your secret, don't think that he's going to steal your business. If you think he's going to steal your business, you have no business.
Right. There's a difference between being humble and being paranoid.
Right.
And that's the difference.
That's exactly what I mean.
Every industry, it's the same thing. I'm never paranoid. Another title company is going to... Who cares?
Exactly.
If they're successful and they have 12 employees and they're feeding 12 employees and their families... Great, it's a win-win for everyone. There's enough deals for everyone.
It's enough deals. The real estate is going nowhere. The market, as you said, is a cycle. Okay, the same opportunities we had before. At some point, they're going to come again, and at some point, people want to be smarter and making the better decisions. Now, after 10 years of me being in the auction and doing thousands of title searches, if you put me back 10 years back, okay, with no money, okay, I'll be buying buildings today, okay? A lot of buildings. So knowledge for me is the commodity. Information for me is a commodity. I think that the biggest asset is ourselves. I think the biggest asset is our time. And we should think where we want to spend it. My advice to people looking into real estate is looking at data and then choosing a niche. That's what I tell my investor. That's what I tell the people who go and study my courses and read my book, because there are so many niches you can do, okay? Everybody's speaking about so many things, okay? Wholesaling, which is, people don't really understand what wholesaling is, but there is this wholesaling, and then there is pre-foreclosures, and then there is income-producing properties. A lot of niches you can fit yourself into in off-market real estate. The only thing you need to do is choose what interests you more. Okay, if you want to specialize in a certain processes and niche, you have to perfect them. Okay, if you're looking for short sale, for example, which used to be a big thing back in the days, okay, if you're looking for, that because you probably close a lot of...
yeah, I mean, people bring us short sales now. Can you close it? I say, you know what? You're better off somewhere else, because we don't focus on that. We're more...
I'm just giving an example.
wholesale.
So if you're looking at short sales, for example, only thing you need to do is every single day scan pre-foreclosure. Then you have to filter them. the one with equity and the one with no equity. If you have processes defined with the one with no equity, meaning short sale, you have a script, you have a way to communicate with the person, you have a program to offer, you have a win-win solution to offer, then you can only focus on short sale. And your processes, you have to perfect them, right? You have to make sure you improve them. So it's not, it's an ongoing thing. If you're interested in buying properties yourself, you're looking for properties with equity. Property with equity, meaning the person owes $100,000 and you found out his house is worth $200,000. Maybe he doesn't know it's worth $200,000. Maybe he thinks it's worth $140,000. And you come in and saying, okay, listen, you're in pre-foreclosure right now, you want $100,000 now. But in 2 years, the bank is gonna have a judgment of $170,000. Because they're going to accumulate all those fees and you're going to lose your equity. Why wait 2 years?
Solve that problem now.
Waiting is not a good option for you. A lot of people think waiting in a foreclosure is a good option. But if you have equity, why not use that equity to get it now? The more you wait, the more the bank is going to take your equity. Another thing I tell people who are looking at the off-market property is that the banks are investors as everybody else. Okay? They only called banks. They only have names of banks. But in reality, those notes are being sold all over again and again and again.
They're backed by investors.
They're backed by investor, and that investor who is sitting somewhere, I don't know where, when he's doing his title search, because they're doing title search too, before the lender started foreclosure, what do? Title search. All right, they want to see who owes what, who they have to eliminate, and what is their position basically. They want to know their position, if it's worth foreclosing or not.